what on paper is a weaker team outdraft a stronger team, but yet fail to execute. Buriza outdrafted them and executed. There were attempts from ROG Titans to use the leverage of their experience, try and rat them out, but Buriza didn't fall for any of that. Every time the Titans decided to rat, they didn't manage to get a kill and still hold on to the structures. There was that one time they lost a tier 3 tower, but Team Buriza kept their calm, kept their cool, and it's a young boy leading them from the front. It's Ramses, who's, well, all of 19, 20, I presume, and he's the one doing the drafting.
Yeah, we did talk about this in the earlier game as well. This is a guy that played Dota on 15 FPS for the longest time, got to about 5.5k MMR, then got a good machine, realized what real Dota looks like, got up to about 6.9k MMR, and now, as one of the youngest players on the squad, he's captaining his team to victory as well. Yep. Very impressive stuff coming out from him. And I honestly think he's got what it takes to make it to the top rungs of Indian Dota. If he's not already there, this victory over ROG Titans has indeed proven it.
Exactly. I mean, when you look at youth in Indian Dota, what are they known for? Insane mechanical skills, occasional flashy plays, a little bit of lack of discipline. Ramses has all of that. He does. But he also shows that he has the maturity to draft.
Yeah.
And he drafts like he's not 20. He drafts like he's been playing this game since Dota 1 and whatnot.
It's also impressive to see that Buriza has dropped what many teams consider to be an ego. And, I mean, it takes a lot for a player like Pulse, who's basically a relic of the dinosaur age of Indian Dota, to say, all right, Ramses, I'm going to hand over the reins to you. You take on the...
So far, the Viper's been taken out of the equation. So has the Pugna and the Necrophos. It's no green Dota once again. And...
no green Dota indeed. With the Night Stalker being banned as well, a little shade of blue has been taken away by Buriza as well. Now, this Viper ban, it comes despite Glass dominating on the Viper in the previous game. Glass himself is not going to get his hands on it. But time and time again, we've seen Ramses draft in a way that one of the top tier picks gets picked up as their last pick in the game. I'm curious to see if they're going to do something similar this time around, or if it's going to be Ramses that runs the Mirana or Glass that runs the Mirana on the middle lane this game.
It's also interesting to note that this time around, the Titans, out of respect, have just banned out the Batrider. The Batrider excels versus the Monkey King in lane, excels versus the Monkey King when he's perched upon a tree, and the Titans. I mean, Batrider is one of those heroes that's been nerfed since the very beginning of Dota 2, nerfed time and time again, but he is also one of the better off-laners to run versus the Monkey King.
So, one of the fun elements of the Taiwan Excellence Gaming Cup is that a lot of the old school players from Mumbai do come to watch or participate. Pulse is one of the old school players that many can relate to over here, and just before this game began, I had a conversation with a player called Skadoosh. He's actually playing Counter-Strike for TMG today.
Skadoosh, yeah.
So I had a chat with Skadoosh, and he was talking about how the Batrider is something that he's seen Pulse been playing for donkey's years now. Well, if Skadoosh is out there, he'll be happy to know that Pulse has to play a different hero this time.
Yeah, it's it's still not entirely clear what Pulse is playing. Pulse could be the Mirana, and I sense he possibly might be the Mirana. I presume they might give Glass his Tinker, because right now I don't see the answers to it. The Titans, on the other hand, they're going to pick up the Doom themselves. An offlaner, that's a general nuisance to deal with. I'm assuming this is, of course, a 4-position Nyx, as he's more so run now in the 4 position than the 3 position. And Titans are going to pick up the Rubik for Zedisbug. So a more playmaking 5th. There are spells to steal, but it's going to be hard for him to even be in the AoE to steal those spells.
I actually remember Pulse playing a hell of a Clockwork back in the day as well. So perhaps this could be an off-lane Clockwork with a mid Mirana after all. I like the lineup from Buriza. It says, it basically screams a lot of pushing potential with the Venom and the Jakiro. Great initiation with the Clockwork. Some ganking potential with the Miranda and the Moonlight Shadow. However, ROG Titan seems to have the beefy lineup this time around. They've got the Doom for that instant delete button on what I assume should be the Venomancer. Monkey King, once again, is probably going to be Akashi that plays it on the off lane. Alternatively, they could run it as a safe lane core on that Monkey King as well. But right now, it seems like the middle hero is missing. The Swifty hero is missing.
TA? Quap.
Quap it is.
Huh.
I mean, what does Buriza do to deal with this now?
I mean, they could pick up the puck. On paper, it's a matchup that does lean towards the puck. They could pick up the puck for Glass and then...
Oh, okay.
What?
That is not something I saw coming, but...
So, we're seeing the Ramses Bloodseeker. Is it a mid Venomancer then?
Yeah, it ought to be a mid Venomancer and then a safe lane.
And I mean, a
Mirana?
Pulse. Pulse plays his own position in the game. There's no textbook on Dota that explains what Pulse does. Yeah, it's going to be a mid Venomancer.
Mid Venomancer and a Pulse Mirana. So an off-lane Mirana by the looks of it.
I'm a little worried for Glass this time around because the Viper is one of those heroes that takes a lot of resources to be brought down.
You mean the Venomancer? Oh, okay.
The Viper is.
Right.
The Venomancer, on the other hand, it's quite easy for Zedisbug to just make a rotation, and if Swifty has his levels, Glass could end up going down. Glass did, in fact, go down a couple of times in the previous game. I also do like the synergy somewhat between the Venomancer and the Bloodseeker. You drop the Poison Nova, you chew through their HP, and Ramses is going to rip them a new one. Probably just run them down, finish up the kills. But it's really crucial for Glass to stay alive and make sure that he gets off a good Venomous Gale.
Yeah,
Excuse me, a good Poison Nova as well as a Venomous Gale.
Laning stage aside, I think the Venomancer and the Bloodseeker is just a match made in heaven, honestly. And it's not like the one position on the side of ROG Titans is super tanky. It's a Monkey King that's going to be dishing out the damage. They don't really have too many ways to look atop the treetops. I mean, the arrow as well as the rocket flare do help in that department somewhat. But most importantly, they've got the ability to break the trees with that macro pyre. So Monkey King, not the most splendid game for him this game at all. I'm also a little worried about this Mirana. They have the silence, they have the stuns to follow up for the silence. I think she's going to need to get a BKB this game. If not, it's definitely going to be a Yule's coming out post that Veil of Discord.
Do you think Lincoln's?
Lincoln's is
you think a Lincoln's for the Doom?
A Doom item, yeah. I don't think it's going to be a Queen of Pain item this game around.
I mean, do you think Pulse might... Oh, bottom lane, they're just going in balls deep. They've lifted Ramses. They're punishing him for the draft, but there's not much they can do. Zedisbug takes a couple of attacks. That was one of the oddest ganks I've ever seen.
I'm not sure what they were thinking. They're running into the tower like that. It's not like they have the best lineup to get first blood against a Bloodseeker either.
I mean, it seems as if ROG Titans, they just want to fight early on. Goredgo walking forward. He's got the PMS as well as a couple of tangos. They're pretty much just trying to bully Buriza away from their own rune.
Meanwhile, on the top side as well, Monkey King is just sitting disguised as a tree while Pulse is going in for that rune. Monkey King's probably going to reveal himself soon enough. The bottom rune is not going to be contested. Ramses will pick it up, while Mirana's going for the rune. She's going to get it as well, and Pulse, he'll walk away despite giving up 4 Jingu Mastery stacks to Akashi.
Yeah, but Pulse held on to his skill point, did have the boots, and he's going to pretty much be fired. But look at this, yeah, I mean, both teams just poking and prodding this early on. Swifty this time around has a better matchup. Last time around, he had a really unfavorable matchup, and purely because of the draft, I want to say that Glass did end up winning the mid lane. This time, I think Swifty's going to do a lot better in general.
Yeah, I think so too, but not if smoke keeps coming in like this. It's a hard kill on Swifty, but it's not hard at all to zone him out of the lane. And Glass is a Venomancer. If he gets the early levels online, if he gets those extra points in the Poison Sting, I don't think the Queen of Pain can stand in the lane anymore. In a one-on-one, sure, you know, I think the Queen's got what it takes to deal with that Venomancer. She's got the burst damage and such. But when Glass picks up Infused Raindrops, when he gets those Plague Wards rolling as well, Swifty's going to have a really, really hard time. Bottom lane as well, it's a 2-on-2 situation. It's got Goredgo and Evil Ash facing off versus Ramses and Helm G. Helm G is going to have the upper hand here with that Liquid Fire coming out after a level or so, where Evil Ash will just not be able to approach the lane without fear of getting beaten up.
He's being run down here. Smoke with the Battery Assault. Pulse does have the boots, and Pulse scores first blood. The extra range of the Mirana making all the difference, and it's so crucial when you're up against a dual off-lane of sorts to not be out of position as the support here, and Zedisbug getting punished for just that. Bottom lane, Ramses, he's trading hits with Goredgo. Helm only has the dual bread. Here comes Evil Ash with the Impale. It connects onto Ramses. Ramses dropping low. Does have the Blood Rage coming off cooldown, but I don't think it's going to do too much. Instead, it's Helm who's really making life difficult for Goredgo. Goredgo's Scorched Earth has timed out, and excuse me, yeah, that is the Scorched Earth.
Yeah, Scorched Earth, he did pop the Scorched Earth to walk back into the Jakiro and zone him out. But look at top lane, man. Pulse is not bothered with the farm. He's actually bothered with zoning out both Zedisbug and Akashi, forcing them to call more consumables to the lane. Every time the courier makes a trip towards the top lane is a moment that the Venomancer gets to dominate the Queen of Pain at mid. Yeah. For now, the Quap, aka Swifty, he's sitting at 9 and 2, but he's been tagged with the Venomous Scale. And every time he gets tagged, Glass just puts in a few Poison Sting attacks as well. Swifty, he's been forced to call out his second Null Talisman early on, but he does have a lot of consumables to continue working with.
But look at this. Smoke comes running in. Haste Rune on top of him. Swifty holding on to that blink, turns around. Immediately pushes him out of the lane.
But again, I think Smoke is happy with that because he's taken up a Shadow Strike in exchange for that Venomancer tanking one. Swifty is almost out of mana. He has the choice between a blink and a Shadow
Smoke
Strike.
has gone in with the Haste Rune. The Battery Assault is there. This could be a setup for an arrow. Smoke, his Haste Rune has worn off, but he has the range to get the cogs. And once again, Bug is going to end up dying in this top lane. Smoke definitely has been the more impactful force so far of both teams.
And all the while, Akashi's taken a beating as well, courtesy Pulse. He chose not to leap in there because Akashi did have the Boundless Strike available, but he's out of consumables. He has to call the courier or he has to hope that Bug is going to ferry out a salve, and that's exactly what he's going to do.
Go red, go. I mean, Ramses does have a little extra damage right now thanks to the Thirst. Goredgo needs to be careful. Impale on the Helm. Helm dropping low. Goredgo dropping low as well. Helm moving left, right. Not sure what to do. Turns around. Manages to ensure that Goredgo falls. And Ramses, he's going to clean house. The Spike Carapace is not going to keep you alive, Evil Ash. And Ramses scores a double.
Ramses is just having a ball of a game here. He's got himself 2 kills on the board already. Hasn't died himself just yet. He's on top of the CS boards as well. This is just the Ramses show all over again.
It is truly a pity that Pulse will be leaving this team really soon. I am going to miss watching Buriza and what they could have been if they just stuck together a little while longer. Despite the outcome of today, it's a side that shows some sort of promise. Maybe I'm just getting carried away by these kills early on in the laning phase. But they're playing pretty decent Dota. And Smoke is once again going to catch Bug. 2 points in Battery Assault. Does have the cogs. Pulse. Is he lining up the arrow? The arrow comes sailing through. The Boundless Strike is there. Bug does his best to dodge, but the cogs will push him back. The damage is there, while Pulse goes another.
Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Evil Ash does manage to connect that Impale on Ramses. He's still making a run for it. He got the bonus movement speed while Bug was dropping low on the other side, but now it's wearing off with every passing second. There's backup coming in. Helmji's coming to the fray. He's dropped down that Liquid Fire and has a dual breath as well. That's going to tag Goredgo while Ramses, he's running away like a Ferrari, man. He's out of there and under the tier 1 tower.
Helmji, though, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to run away from this. He takes the fall, falls 1 position, and Goredgo, with the benefits of the Alpha Wolf, manages to bring down Helmji.
Glass now dealing with a double damage Queen of Pain on the middle lane. He has to play defensively for a few more minutes, for a few more seconds rather. Up top, Pulse, he's having a good game as well. He's sitting at just 5 CS, but he's got 2 kills and an assist to his name. While Akashi, despite having died 0 times there, is not taking the lead in terms of net worth on this top lane.
Absolutely. I mean, if you take a look at net worth, despite Pulse only having 5 CS, he's sitting atop Akashi in terms of net worth. And a lot of this has to do with Smoke in his rotations. He's been setting up these kills for Pulse, and he's been enabling Pulse, while Glass is pretty much doing reasonably well by himself in the mid lane. It's 100 gold that separates the both of them, and he's not doing too bad.
It's interesting to note that the 4 position on the side of
Buriza?
ROG is actually higher in terms of net worth, but meanwhile bottom looks like Ramses could be going down this time around. He's still running pretty fast, but the Scorched Earth damage is hurting him in the vicinity. Goredgo does get body blocked, but never mind. Ramses comes all the way looping around where Goredgo will smack him in the face, and now with the Infernal Blade on LG, looks like the Impale will connect as well, and it's gonna be 2 kills going in favor of Goredgo and Evil Ash.
I mean, I like what... okay, hold on, mid lane. Swifty finds a solo kill on Glass.
Meanwhile, top Smoke is going forward. He wants to make something happen, but the Nyx has made his presence felt as well. The Impale comes out along with the Boundless Strike. Smoke's in trouble. The Jingu stacks will stack up, and look at Akashi. He goes down on the side, and now Pulse senses an opportunity. Goes forward for Bug, gets himself a double kill, and has suddenly evened the odds once again.
I think that's worth it. While elsewhere, Ramses does manage to score a kill on Goredgo. That was one messy team fight. Not even a team fight, it's a fight that took place across all 3 lanes at once. Swifty managed to kill Glass by himself. Ramses as well as Helmji did end up going down to Evil Ash and Doom. Evil Ash rotated to the top lane, managed to find the kill on Smoke, but actually the Rubik as well as the Monkey King ended up going down to the Pulse. And in the end of it all, I think Buriza will be slightly happy with the trade. I'd just like to see one small adjustment coming out from MG. He might have to put a point into the Ice Spot just so that Ramses can survive these aggressive maneuvers coming out from the Doom as well as the Nyx.
Monkey King Just going to jump away under his tower for fear of that rotation from smoke coming around. The storyline of this early game so far has been that it's been a bloodbath, and well, what better hero to benefit from a bloodbath than Bloodseeker himself? But now he's in trouble. He's gonna get tagged by the Impale. The Scorched Earth is gonna run down. No Ice Path on Hemji, but the slows come out from the dual breath. The Rupture thrown out on Goredko, who's now under a tier 1 tower. Hemji wants to go for this. Goredko, he is making a run for it and will be able to survive because there's no more TPs coming in this bottom lane.
Yeah, I'd really like to see Hemji put a point into the Ice Path. I mean, the Liquid Fire is tempting, and it does help when you're attempting to siege, but you really need the Ice Path in such an aggressive dual lane coming out from the Titan. Smoke, though, he's been caught out of position. Akashi doesn't have mana for the...
And then is forced to back away, but his arrow's back.
Yeah,
he's going to look to make something happen. He's being an absolute nuisance in this lane here.
2 points in the arrow. The help coming in from Smoke has really set up Pulse for a good start. And it's not going to be easy for Zetisbug to approach the lane. Instead, it'd be much better if the Titans just focus their attention on some other lane. The scan comes out from the Radiant.
They know what's going on.
Yeah, they know what's going on. Ramses is going to back away.
Meanwhile, Swifty on that middle lane, he's going towards the Veil. Standard build up with the 2 nulls and then a magic wand. Glass, on the other hand, did pick up the infused raindrops, which makes him extremely difficult to kill at the hands of just a Queen of Pain. But Quap's farming really well in the lane, man. She's at 3,000 net worth for herself, while the Venomance is falling back at 2.6. He is picking up what I assume is the power threads. I mean, while he does have the Gloves of Ace, I doubt it's going to be a Midas that comes out after it.
Yeah, I mean, he has the Belt of Giant Strength as well as the Gloves of Ace, so he's going to do fine. Meanwhile, bottom lane, TP's coming in from Smoke. Ramses did commit the Rupture onto Goredko. The Rocket Flare is there as well. The Liquid Fire adding up on top of the Doom, who just turns around, commits the Doom onto Smoke. Might end up paying with his life here, but Swifty with the Sonic Wave ensures that Ramses doesn't get the kill. Goredko staying alive through it all, and possibly Hemji could end up going down. Swifty with the Blood Rage upon him. Not sure where he got that from, but the Scream means that the Jakiro will fall, while Smoke runs away on 100 HP thanks to that Doom.
Yep, ROG Titans making the rotation with Swifty once again towards the bottom lane, only this time it was a lot more successful than with his puck in the previous game. Evil Ash, oh, he's got Smoke along with that bounty rune. Well, never mind, the bounty went to Smoke, but the kill went to Evil Ash. He read him like a book there. He knew he'd be greedy enough to go back for the 10-minute bounty, and he goes and snipes him for it. Meanwhile,
Glass mid lane, Boundless Strike as well. He knows he can TP out, nothing to cancel the TP, and Glass is safe.
10-8. ROG Titans now taking the lead here in this game, just 10 minutes in, but it's a very minor lead in terms of net worth, while the EXP graph still stays comfortable in Buriza territory. Ramses, his previous Rupture was not as successful as he would have liked it to be, but now with the Doom on cooldown for Goredko, maybe they should consider trying again. I'm a little surprised that they've left Ramses alone in this lane. They should know that he's going to be the focus of their engagement. He's going to be the highest priority kill for the entirety of ROG Titans, given how hard Ramses has been carrying Buriza.
Yeah, I'd really like to see just help put a point into the Ice Path. That's exactly what he needs to ensure that Ramses stays alive. Ramses is buying himself a lot of time, and a point, yeah, he's put the point into Ice Path at level 5. Hopefully, now onwards, Ramses shouldn't be going down unless 50 makes a wayward rotation. Ramses, he's got the Rupture, he's got the Thirst, he sees the Doom. Rupture onto Goredko. Goredko can TP out if he wants to, but his TP is on cooldown. Hook shot from Smoke, he could push him back with the Cogs, but he's going to burn him down with the Battery Assault. Bloodseeker trying to get into the Cogs with the Dual Breath. It's going to be an easy kill for Ramses.
But elsewhere on the top side, Pulse is in trouble. He popped the leap preemptively, and now he's in trouble even more. He's trying to make a run, but there's no detection. You can instantly see Evil Ash regretting his decisions and buying up a dust in the base.
If you're a safe lane row by the 11-minute mark, what are you looking for in terms of items?
Pulse, he's overstepped his boundaries here a little bit. You can see Zetisbug getting in range, and with the Boundless Strike, they'll set up the lift, follow it up with an Impale and get that kill. I don't know what he was thinking there. That was just too cocky coming out from him.
But Pulse has pretty much farmed like a safe laner here. He's going to get a Dragonlance Threads and Aquila
bottom,
on the 12-minute mark.
In trouble again. They did get the Cogs off and they've trapped out Goredko, but he has the Doom this time around and commits it as well. While Swifty jumps forward to pursue the Doom target. He's going to miss with the Sonic Wave. They'll turn back around for Smoke. But that means that Ramses will get away and possibly survive.
I think he's going to survive. Can't threat switch. He's on agility, but yeah, he ends up surviving.
Back in middle lane, Glass sees the opportunity and starts to pressure that tier 1 tower, but Evil Ash is going for the impale. Glass dodging left, dodging right, doesn't quite dodge enough, drops everything in his arsenal instead, and dies fighting like a man.
Yeah, TP's coming in though. Smoke does have the hook shot. A kill on Evil Ash would be a nice response. The arrow comes flying through. The hook shot is there. Excuse me, the rocket flare. And Smoke with the battery assault. Zed is caught in the cogs. They're trying to break it from the shrine. Swifty goes in with the Shadow Strike. Does have enough mana to go in for round 2. Smoke does manage to give away the cogs to Zedisbug. Zedisbug walking in. Manages to catch Smoke in his own cogs. And finally, Swifty will get the kill.
Yep, it's a bad idea from Smoke there. I don't know why he was thinking of going in when he knew that they were heading up towards the shrine up there. There's no other reason why 3 heroes walk up in the direction of a shrine unless they were going to go pop it together. Zedisbug just barely getting back in range of it, getting that extra regen kicking in, and that means that Smoke ends up losing his life. But top lane, the trade-off is going to be a tier 1 tower in favor of Team Buriza. That'll put them slightly back in this game in terms of economy. But you can clearly see ROG Titans slowly starting to pull ahead.
I mean, Akashi's had a really hard time on this Monkey King. He is behind his own 4 position in terms of net worth. It just goes to show how far behind he is. He's probably going to need something that's going to let him fight early. I'm not really sure what the arrow from Pulse. Almost.
So shave there indeed. You can see Smoke making a movement back towards the river as well, but that's where Swifty and Zedisbug are hanging about under cover of a Smoke. They're going towards the Pulse skill on top. Pulse, I don't think he's going to know this is coming his way.
Yep, Pulse is just moving towards them. The Veil of Discard comes out from Swifty. He's got the Arcane Rune as well. Boundless Strike for good measure, and Zedisbug with the arrows scores the kill.
So he uses the cogs, then he steals the arrow, and then he fires it off on Pulse. He's just styling on him right now.
40 minutes in, it's been a while since we've seen the Titans working with any sort of a net worth advantage. They have a 2k lead, it's not too much. The real problem is that Archmage on this Monkey King is not having a good time. They need to find him more kills somehow across the map. Right now, he's just using his Boundless Strike as a secondary stun just to ensure that they have enough lockdown to bring down Pulse. He's got the Ogre Club, so he's making progress towards his Echo Saber, but I do not see it coming anytime soon.
Yeah, that Echo Saber's... I'm trying to think about whether or not that's the best way to go for this Monkey King this game.
I mean, he needs a lot of items. He needs a hood, he needs maybe a Linked Spear.
So the problem I see with the ROG Titans lineup is it falls off. Co-op as well as the Monkey King. While with the new talents and such, they do kind of scale into the late game phase, but not as much as a Bloodseeker, Mirana and a Venomancer in my opinion. I don't think you want to take this game too late, but at the same time, I don't think you want to go all in either with that Echo Saber pickup early on. A Battle Fury perhaps to give him some layer of security so that he can farm if the game goes all sorts of wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, with the kind of farm he has, he's not going to get his Battle Fury until the 25-30 minute mark.
Theoretically, I think we're going to see the entirety of Buriza just grouping up as 5 soon. And with the Plague Wards, as soon as, well, they're already maxed out. So all you've got to do is start setting up that periphery with the Plague Wards, put a sentry to watch for possible nicks coming in, and initiate when you get a good opportunity with the Clockwork Hood shot. That's theoretically how they should be playing this game, but is the Echo Saber the best response to that for the Monkey King? Maybe. I mean, it's one way to catch retreating heroes, right? Because on the other side, if you jump in with the Doom and start the fight, you need ways to hold them down. But Helm, yeah, Buriza can't afford to get picked off like this time and again. This is like the 3rd pick off they've had in the last couple of minutes.
The Titans are working with a net worth advantage, but I'm sure Buriza recognize that Archmage, he's not working with too much in terms of items. Smoke, almost going to get picked off. Evil Ash has a Blink Dagger by the 16-minute mark. The Impale held on to, finally committed, and Smoke will fall. He will catch Evil Ash in the cogs. Meanwhile, mid lane, a pusher starts coming through from Glass. Ramses does have the Shadow Amulet. He's going for the Shadow Blade once more. This item, it's been the bane of item choices for Bloodseekers across this tournament. The Rupture and the Blood Rite. Zedisbug goes in, takes a lot of Rupture damage. He's trying to man up versus Glass. The Boundless Strike buys them some time, but it's clearly not enough.
I'm impressed by Zedisbug, man. He's willing to take the fall for his teammates.
Yeah.
Walks further forward onto the low ground, ensuring that they can't keep chasing and get vision on the retreating heroes. ROG Titans are making such quick decisions. It doesn't feel like they're a team of new players that just got together. It feels like a team that's on the same page. The moment the rupture connects, it's like they consciously take a collective decision that says, Zerisbug, go in front, take the kill, go die, we'll go do something more efficient while that's happening.
Yeah, good stuff coming out from Zerisbug. The problem, I mean, we're going to know soon enough if it is indeed a real problem, is that Buriza did manage to get a tower. Pulse, oh, the leap was quick. He managed to get away from that impale, and he's going to survive.
I mean, we called him a dinosaur, but those were some really quick reflexes coming out from him.
I mean, how old is he?
He's like 25, I think.
Really? Isn't he Crowley's age?
Is he?
Yeah. They were both the same age when they started,
right.
roughly.
Then he's a lot younger. He's no dinosaur.
He just seems
mature
mature in
dinosaur.
comparison to Crowley. Anyway, Rupture on the top lane, Bloodright as well. I don't know how Archmage gets out of this. That Echo Saber, he's bought the quarterstaff, but still needs 2 components. Immediate Moonlight Shadow coming out from Buriza. Glass Dust sees Swifty. Swifty blinks in aggressively.
Oh, they see the Doom isolated. Perhaps they could go for this. It's very close to the tier 1 tower, so TP rotations are possible.
It's also 835 with a fresh Midas, which he hasn't used.
Yeah, he used it.
Okay.
There's a Radiant Observer Ward watching all of this from Goredgo and Zerisbug, so maybe they could jump in here.
80 minutes in, both teams just testing the waters. It's rather clear that Archmage hasn't had the start he would want. And when this team was formed, it's something that I wonder to myself as well. Who's going to be playing the safe lane? I mean, Archmage is a phenomenally good mid lane player.
Ramses again tagging Akashi with that rupture. The Bloodright will be dodged. Ramses is coming in under cover of a Shadow Blade, but then he just decides to U-turn and hightail it on out of here. But he's getting pincer trapped here. Are they going to pop a casual dust? What is this? This is some next level juking coming out from Ramses. He's given away intel, but Smoke whipping that hook shot means that Ramses is going to be in trouble. There's the Doom thrown down onto the Clockwork. They've isolated Ramses, body blocked him in and taken him down. The arrow flies and the arrow connects and Glass comes in with a Poison Nova, but Zerisbug steals it, returns the favor. An Ice Path, a Macro Pyre and a Starstorm in the middle of it all means that Buriza are slowly annihilating ROG Titans, as Pulse will end up surviving on a sliver of HP.
Yeah, it's good to know that you can't die to the Poison Nova, otherwise Pulse was pretty much done for. Good stuff coming up from Zerisbug, having the quick fingers to steal the Poison Nova. But, I mean, it was that simple for Buriza. They just had to commit the Poison Nova onto a couple. Pulse just leaps in like a boss, commits the Starstorm, gets a couple of kills. And without Swifty anywhere nearby, there's no way the Titans win that fight. Maybe if Swifty was nearby, that fight could have turned out differently for Team Buriza.
Now, here's the issue that ROG Titans are going to start facing. You've got Ramses that already moves like a chipmunk on steroids. And then you've got Mirana who's picked up a Yasha in addition to the treads. So she's running about at a good 372 movement speed herself. Catching and locking down these heroes is going to be difficult, especially when you're relying on the Nyx Assassin stun and you're relying on that single target lockdown with the Rubik. Anyway, for now it looks like there could be a gang coming out towards Pulse. He has some backup in the vicinity with Helm sitting about.
Oh, Swifty goes in, he has an Orchid, there's an Impale to follow up. Helm does have the Ice Path as well as the Macro Pyre, but Pulse is done for. The Sonic Wave committed. Swifty on a monster kill streak. There's a huge bounty for the Queen of Pain. But Buriza are still struggling to deal with this Queen of Pain as of now. Ramses goes for the Shadow Blade. Thoughts on this pickup?
It's been working for him so far.
Yeah,
but
he's been using it rather well.
I mean, I'm rarely a fan of the first item Shadow Blade on the Bloodseeker. I mean, in the face of a Queen of Pain, in the face of a Monkey King, we've talked about how the Blade Mail holds so much value. I think that would have been the choice for him. He's also choosing not to go for it next, going for the Radiance instead.
Yeah, the Radiance is going to work wonders with the Venomancer to some extent, and in general, the evasion is going to be nice versus the Monkey King. But yeah, it's Buriza who have decided to play this game slow and hold on till they get a couple of significant items.
After all, we did talk about how Buriza can take this game late, so no real rush for them.
Okay, Zerisbug still has the Poison Nova.
Pulse.
Oh, they caught Pulse, the telekinesis, the Poison Nova committed. This time he's going to die. Zerisbug steals the arrow as well, and this should be a tower for the Titans.
Fantastic stuff coming out from Zed's Bug. He's been in the right place at the right time, reading his opponents like a book. After all, they are his former teammates. Now you've got Smoke trying to wrap around here. He does have that rocket flare to spot things out.
Smoke needs to be careful. But they've got Ramses coming in. Glass TP's in as well. The rupture on Goredko. Goredko holding his ground. Doesn't have a TP. Does have the hood, however. Smoke goes in. The Wukong's command channel. Goredko dropping low, and that Macropie does manage to get the Doom out. He's caught in the cogs, and he'll finally fall to Ramses. While Akashi manages to bring down Smoke. Akashi still standing in the Wukong's command. Ramses on the backlines, going for Zed's Bug. Gets a double kill. Akashi on the trees. The Blood Ride on the ground. Akashi silenced. Can they really bring him down from the trees? No Macropie to burn through those trees. A Sentry as well as the Tinker Ward. And the Plague Ward scouts him out. The Ice Path will connect. They chew through the tree with the Quelling Blade. But here comes Swifty. The Sonic Wave onto 3. The Evil Ash will impale, will manage to bring down Ramses, while Glass and Helm are trying to find a kill in response. Evil Ash will manage to TP out. It's a 4-for-2 exchange, and I think it's one that Buriza will take any time of day. Swifty coming a bit too late there.
Swifty is, I mean, he's always coming in late to these fights, but he's kind of salvaging the team fights for them in some way or the other. If that Sonic Wave connected in the middle, in the thick of things there, I think things would have gone significantly differently. But ROG Titans still end up on the receiving end of those blows. At the very least, they do end up getting the kill on that Bloodseeker, but the Venomancer surviving means that he's now got a pipe online and is making progress towards an Ags.
Yeah, the Sonic Wave, along with the Impale coming out from Evil Ash, only ensured that only ensured that Ramses and the Bloodseeker ended up going down. They didn't get the Jakiro, and Smoke did end up going down earlier on in battle. The Tinker Ward paying off. Good stuff coming out from MGA, having an Observer.
Another interesting thing to note is that the Bloodseeker chose not to go for the Radiance, or the Blade Mail for that matter. Instead, he picks up the Yasha as his next item. So it's a Manta style that he's queued up. And
for the Orchid.
Yeah, I assume it's for the Orchid, and it's also going to have a side benefit of working against ROG Titans, because they don't really have too much AoE apart from the Queen of Pain. Having a Manta, having the Doom to make a difficult decision about which hero to actually tag with the Doom is actually a good tool in the arsenal as well. I like what the Bloodseekers picked up here. I can agree with this Yasha pickup, but it's still not going to help him towards the later phases of this game.
I think they know that Swifty's nearby. Evil Ash walks under a sentry. Smoke possibly sees Swifty right now. He starts the battery assault. Swifty caught with the rupture. He has a huge streak on his head. The Blood Ride on the floor. The arrow to follow. It's a lot of gold. Who's going to get it? It's Ramses who gets the kill. And he's running with the thirst movement speed after Goredko. An earn charge thrown out onto the Doom. But no real damage. Smoke doesn't have the hook shot. Can't really latch onto the Doom. While Zed's Bug secures a safe retreat.
Oh, Akashi made. How is he going to get away from this? Glass is just committing all in on him. And Akashi says, fine, you know what, I'm going to man up and try and turn back on you, but what's the point when there's a Venomancer spreading toxins all over the monkey man himself? Glass gets himself a solo kill on Akashi. Smoke just coming in for moral support, while the rest of his teammates will look to take a tier 1 on the bottom lane.
Beautiful stuff coming out from Buriza. That kill on Swifty as well as the death on Archmage pretty much neutralizes the net worth advantage that the Titans were working with. And they're going to lose a tier 1 tower now. Pulse with the Blood Rage is pounding away. And Pulse will get the tower. He's going for the Manta style of his own. So soon enough, Swifty is going to find that the Orchid is mighty useless.
Well, on the flip side, they did get the pipe finished up on Goredko as well. So some of that Venomancer damage could be mitigated. But Smoke,
oh, the rupture, shot. It's got Goredko, the Ice Path, and the Macropire. Evil Ash running around. They lift up Smoke. They're trying to focus Smoke, but they're already going to lose Goredko. Goredko, he did manage to commit the Doom onto Ramsey. Swifty goes in with the Scream. He'll score the kill, and MGA will eat a Sonic Wave. He's dropping low while Evil Ash goes in for seconds. They manage to ult Pulse. Archmage bounces off the trees. Doesn't really connect on anyone. Pulse in the trees, but the trees are not your friend when there's a Monkey King. And Swifty scores a triple kill.
Bad decision to go for the tier 2 tower after that. I mean, committing on the tankiest hero under the enemy tier 2 tower, what a horrible idea.
Who's the ideal rupture target here in your option? I mean, in your opinion, all they see is the Doom.
I'd probably say it's the Queen of Pain or the Monkey King that deserve the rupture this game.
Okay.
I mean, you don't want to go on the Doom. That's exactly what ROG Titans wants from you. They want you to focus the Doom while he's got the pipe online. He's not going to die in the single silence. If you commit all your stuns on him, Queen and Monkey King can jump around you and finish you off in the rest of the fight. Bad move from them. And, I mean, to make matters worse, Doom even managed to come out of the stuns and silences and ends up dooming the Bloodseeker before the fight concludes.
They've got to ensure that the Doom is followed, the rupture is followed up by an arrow And a blood right on the floor and quick burst damage.
I mean, as if they weren't making enough bad decisions, Buriza goes, well, Ramses goes and finishes the Sanjin Yasha instead of the Manta Star. So now he has no way to deal with the Orchid. It's not like he has a Lincoln Sphere to deal with the Doom. It's not like he has a BKB to deal with the stuns. He's just got a Sanjin Yasha for what? More movement speed? Yeah. I just don't get what the train of thought was behind this item pickup.
It is questionable indeed, and it's not going to ensure that he does more damage. It's not going to ensure that he survives versus the Doom. And it might not even ensure that he survives versus Evil Ash. But the detection was there from Helm. The Rupture as well as the Blood Right. Both Goredgo and Zedisbug running away from the Circle of Death while Ramses goes in and ensures that Evil Ash will fall. Swifty goes in, Scream of Pain. They can bring down Ramses. The Wukong's command is there and the Boundless Strike hurts. Helm GA will fall as well. Swifty manages to bring him down while Goredgo is running in for seconds. The Doom on cooldown. Smoke comes to battle really late. Glass, what? Smoke hook-shotted onto the Venomman side. Now he runs into the midst of battle, pushes them back with the cogs, but the arrow comes sailing through. Can they focus Archmage? Glass, his Poison Nova on cooldown. Akashi though will fall to Smoke, and Smoke with the Blade Mail just pushing back Goredgo to his own shrine. Goredgo turns around, smacks him with the Infernal Blade. Swifty comes with the Sonic Wave and the Scream of Pain, but Pulse is just pounding away with the right clicks. Goredgo will fall, Swifty gets pushed back by the cogs, and Pulse scores a double kill. That was one sloppy, messy engagement, one that Buriza should have lost, but somehow the Titans end up falling.
At the end of his Smoke even tried to deny Glass, but he ended up missing that auto attack, or either that or he just didn't have enough damage, and Glass ends up going down to Swifty. But that fight, again, just all over the place and not working out in favor of ROG Titans. Evil Ash, not going to be able to get anything done by him, by his lonesome over here. But again, it's the item choices on Ramses that are making life significantly harder for the entirety of Team Buriza. That last fight, you saw him go for the kill on the Nyx Assassin. The Macropire did sort of cordon off the rest of the heroes, but Ramses just couldn't do anything when he gets stunned up. All they had to do was go in with Zedisbug, get the lift on Ramses and focus him down. But he didn't even die in the lift, he actually walked back and tried to walk back in. But when you do that without a BKB, life is extremely difficult.
He certainly needs a BKB. I'm not, just like you, I'm not 100% sold on the Sanjin Yasha before the BKB. If the Titans do realize that the Bloodseeker is missing one of his key items, and maybe if they just force a fight on the Rosh Pit, Buriza could really be regretting the item choices on Ramses here. But Ramses, he's trying to make amends. He's trying to just farm up his BKB as soon as possible. But that fight was huge for Buriza because once again, they managed to equalize the net worth. Look at the shot. It's been up and down and up again. And Buriza still holding on here, while the Titans are one game away from defeat in the grand final of the Taiwan Excellence Gaming Cup.
I didn't quite catch if the Monkey King had that Desolator for the last fight, but he's definitely got it for the next one. Which means that he is going to be able to focus down a hero of choice if he can lay his claws into him. Glass is just getting tankier by every passing moment, by the way. His Aghanim Scepter is almost complete. And that pipe on Goredgo is going to do very little versus that Poison Nova now.
Yeah.
Shocking that they haven't gone for Lincoln Spheres or Lotus Orbs at all on the side of Buriza.
Yeah, I hope Smoke starts building into one. He's got it queued up. Yeah, the next choice in terms of items to Smoke is indeed the Lotus Orb. Ramses, he's by himself here, pops the Shadow Blade, Pulse hiding further north. Has Evil Ash got detection? I mean, Ramses and Evil Ash even crossed paths and they didn't know. A dire scan comes out. It's not really connecting onto anyone. Pulse needs to be careful. Yeah, he's walked into Evil Ash. Evil Ash just walked past him. Pulse pops the Moonlight Shadow. He senses that something was wrong. He tries to TP out, but Swifty is there with the Orchid, with the Soul Burn. Pulse tries to jump off the map, but he's got no luck at all. And Evil Ash will ensure that Pulse will fall.
Meanwhile,
they're going for more. Swifty did have a little bit of detection, and they did manage to clip Ramses with the dust. Smoke goes in with the hook shot. He pushes back Swifty with the cogs. They need Glass to come in. There's an Ice Path and a Macropire on Goredgo, and with the cogs, Goredgo can't move out of it. Goredgo will fall. Smoke will retreat. The Wukong's command committed, and Glass TPs into battle. There's a Rupture onto Akashi. He jumps right on top of the trees. No extra movement speed for Ramses just yet. Rockets are coming through. They do see Akashi. Can they catch him? But Akashi's already TP'd out. It's a one-for-one exchange. A Mirana for a Doom, both off-laners.
Yep, all the credit for that goes to Smoke. Beautiful hook shot in, even better cogs coming out, trapping in the Doom while isolating the Queen of Pain. That allowed the Bloodseeker to get away, and they managed to get the return kill on the Doom. And it's not like the Doom wasn't committed either. This gives them a 110-second window to make something happen. And that's something, by the looks of it, should be Roshan.
Yeah, they're moving. They're moving as a unit. Akashi, he's got the Desolator complete. It does help, but we just saw in the previous engagement how Cogs into Macropyre chews through a Doom, who even has the pipe complete. Swifty, he's going to try and take an objective, and he should be able to get it by the look of things.
Yeah, but this is a trade that's definitely going to favor Buriza. They're going to get themselves the Aegis for a tier 2 tower in the bottom lane, and ROG Titans are none the wiser. They're still 70 seconds after the Aegis has been picked up without the Doom. Now, Buriza has a choice. Either they go and make something happen with this Aegis in their pocket and the Doom on cooldown, or they wait for the Doom to come back, but go in with the BKB on Ramses. Both choices have equal amount of pros and cons. It's really going to come down to personal preference, but they've been spotted. That Observer spotted out Pulse and his boys moving towards the dire side of the map, and ROG Titans seem to be ready with Evil Ash popping the Vendetta, moving forward.
Ramses, undercover Moonlight Shadow, Akashi on the trees. He does have the Primal Spring, but I'm not sure if they see Ramses. No sentry in the vicinity, and Ramses, he's going to back off himself. His Shadow Blade wearing thin. The call seems to be that we wait for the Bloodseeker and his BKB. And I'm in agreement of that. I just like to see Buriza do their best to help Ramses farm his BKB. And immediately once the BKB is up on Ramses, pop a smoke and let's go hunting for a pickoff.
That does seem like the best way to go about this. Smoke's been on point with his hook shots for the latter half of this game, and he might just be looking for one more right now as Ramses runs forward. Unfortunately, Zerisbug did drop a sentry there, because of which he's going to be able to back away.
Look at this. Buriza
doing the old Rocks kiss, pretending to back off, coming back with the smoke.
Smoke, hook shot, whiffs.
Close shave there. Even if they do get Zerisbugger, I'm not sure if it's worth it at this point. Arrow just barely skirts past him.
Zerisbug feeling the heat from his former team there, while Ramses and Glass pound away on the tier 2. This is certainly going to fall fast with all the blood rages distributed around. And Glass gets the last hit on the tower. Glass has got that Aghanim Scepter complete along with the pipe, and now he's building into a Lincoln Spear. This Venomancer is bit by bit becoming an issue for ROG Titans.
Meanwhile, oh, what Evil Ash you got!
Did he snipe the courier?
He sniped the courier in the middle of 2 heroes and then blinks out to safety. That courier had a fair bit of items on it as well.
It had a sentry and a TP.
I believe it had some components for a 4-staff and such as well.
Okay.
Maybe mistaken there. Anyway, Pulse holding on to that double damage doom with the Manta style. He's going for the Diffuser Blade next. Again, why is he not making a Lincoln Sphere?
For the Doom. I mean, so Ramses has got his BKB. They've got Aegis for a bit to work with. The Moonlight Shadows come off cooldown. This is when I presume Buriza will be trying to make a move on the offensive.
I actually think they've wasted their Aegis this game, yeah. Doesn't seem like the most efficient way to use the Aegis, just running around the map, making sure that, you know... I mean, they didn't even get a tower for it, did they? Just the middle tier 2
They
tower.
got the middle tier 2, they lost their tier 2. Right now, if you take a look at the towers, the Titans are working with more. They've got 2 tier 2 still standing. Swifty is trying to keep the top lane pushed out. It's once again a little bit of smart ratting coming up from ROG Titans here.
Evil Ash has just been providing so much valuable intel this game. I think it's time that they held on to a gem on the side of the Radiant.
I agree. If they're wasting this Aegis. Pulse needs to be careful. The Orchid is there. Pulse immediately Manta's out. His micro a bit lackluster. Blood right on the floor means that Evil Ash might just end up going down. But the Spike Carapace, it's not enough. The BKB pop from Ramses. Evil Ash provided intel and also provided a kill to the Bloodseeker. Akashi and the boys, can they hold on? Swifty blinks back defensively. He's still got the Sonic Wave. Ramses, he's got the Aegis. It's going to allow him to take down the tower. Grego holding on to the Doom. Pops his BKB, but the Poison Nova goes through all that spell immunity. And Ramses, the physical damage will go through as well. But here's Swifty with the Scream. They managed to take away his Aegis. What's the plan here? Smoke. He's got Grego in the cogs. The Doom comes out on the Clockwork. Not the most ideal use. While Ramses, he's trapped by a whole lot of monkeys pounding away on him. The arrow comes flying through. It's caught Akashi. Glass trying to bring him down. Here comes Swifty from the backline, drops the Lincoln Spear onto Archmage. Archmage pops his BKB, wants to man up, but both of them with range, with damage, will manage to bring him down. Buriza have lost 4. Excuse me, Buriza have just lost the Bloodseeker while they got 4 kills in exchange.
That fight was just, I mean, it was the arrow show coming out from Pulse. The moment the arrow connects on the Monkey King, Pulse says, alright, I'll deal with the Monkey King later, jumps behind, finishes off Zerisbug, who was waiting to steal a spell instead. And then the Venomancer and the Mirana team up to take down the Monkey King together. Fantastic stuff from Buriza, and arrow skirts straight past Evil Ash, and that could have been their undoing once again. The tier 3 is in jeopardy. It's about to fall, and that's going to open up a lane of barracks in favor of Buriza. They're on the cusp of a 2-0 victory here at the TE Gaming Cup Finals, and you know that ROG Titans are feeling the heat.
Absolutely. Buriza walk into the base, get a lane of barracks, and finally get the net worth swinging back in their favor. They lose Ramses, they're more than happy with that, but CloudX, I mean, if they are hoping to close this game, it's going to take another ages in their kitty.
It most likely will. Unless, of course, ROG Titans gets picked off carelessly once again. This is going to get them the Shrine Gold on the bottom side of the map as well. They could go for the next Shrine on the top side as well. This, more importantly than the respawn timer, it's the fact that the Doom takes so goddamn long to come back online. Gorenko is doing nothing in these fights.
Yeah.
The last Doom he got was on a Clockwork.
That's...
After the Clockwork used the hook shot on the cogs. Absolutely irrelevant stuff coming out from him there. You had the Bloodseeker that was isolated by the rest of his teammates, but
yeah,
literally anyone else is a better Doom target.
You know what's surprising? Gorenko is one of those offlaners who's so judicious with the use of his ultimates. His Legion Commander, time and time again, I've seen him up versus Signify, where Crowley was playing the offlane. His duels were on point. They were almost always catching Blizzard. But his usage of Doom this game leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, throwing out Doom on a Clockwork, it really doesn't amount to much. It's the most wasted usage of a Doom. Just because he was caught in the cogs, he decided to expend it. He possibly could have held on to it. He really didn't need to throw it out on the Clockwork, who had already, like you mentioned, committed the hookshot and the battery assault. And Buriza, riding on that wave of confidence, are just pushing out the top lane. Glass has committed his Lincoln Sphere, so it's good to know that he can throw it out on the Bloodseeker every now and then. Clockwork, what's the Lotus Orb status looking like? He's got it complete. Buriza, they're going for the kill here. They haven't got the Aegis. Archmage clears the creep wave at the very least with the Boundless Strike. He's got the Desolate as well as the BKB. He hurts, but he hasn't yet got his level 25 talent. Rupture onto Zerisbug. He's dropping low. This could be set up for an arrow. Zerisbug caught in the ice path. There's no shrine nearby. He's going to TP out, so that's a wasted Rupture, but the arrow narrowly misses from Pulse. That means that for the next couple of seconds, the Titans are fighting 4v5. The Macropire committed. Buriza wants this, and how? The tier 3 under siege. Evil Ash goes in. He's got the Impale. They're forcing the kill onto Helm GA. Helm GA will survive with the Yule Scepter, but Gorenko pops the BKB, runs in and dies. Smoke comes in with a hook shot. He's got 2 of them in the cogs. Swifty manages to bring down Ramses. Akashi with the Wukong's command will get smoked, while Swifty goes in for more. Glass, I'm not sure where the Poison Nova was. I'm not sure where the Venomous Gale was. It did manage to clip Akashi. Akashi will fall, but Swifty finds a rampage. The ROG Titans are fighting back in how?
I mean, that fight looked like it was going to go in favor of Buriza, but Swifty just really pulling out all the stops and showing them what he's made of. Standing his ground, one by one, picking and choosing his targets, dodging spells with the Yules and coming back to fight stronger. ROG Titans, they have just managed to claw themselves back into this game. The net worth graph has swung back in their favor, while Buriza maintains a very minor EXP lead. The crucial mistake there was that the Lotus Orb came out a tad too late onto the Mirana. The Doom didn't get reflected. Doom ended up dying nonetheless, with Pulse standing on the backlines and right-clicking away. Unfortunately, it's the lack of armor, it's the lack of any sort of survivability in that Bloodseeker that's really starting to be his undoing. He walks in forward, gets decimated at the hands of the entirety of ROG Titans, and if Swifty doesn't get controlled in these fights, he comes back stronger, fighting hard, fighting fast, getting himself a rampage.
They really have to catch Swifty in these fights. I mean, he's got the Lincoln Spear, he's got the Yules. Buriza, they know they're so close to victory, but they need to persevere. They need to continue playing disciplined Dota. And the next big point of contest between these teams is going to be Roshan, who's holding on to Aegis and Cheese. No vision for now around the Rosh Pit. Evil Ash is cutting around. He's got a gem, and this is going to be crucial as well. Have we got a gem on Now we got a couple of sentries in smoke. Has Helm got true sight? Yeah, he has a couple of sentries as well.
I'm not certain why they haven't picked up a gem on the side of the Radiant at all.
I think they did, but they lost it. I'm not too sure.
I don't think they lost it. I just see one gem on the battlefield.
Okay, that's owned by Zedisbug.
Which is owned by Zedisbug, exactly.
Yeah. The Radiant need to pick up a gem. They should also try and bring down the shrine near Roshan. I mean, what they're doing right now is high risk, high reward. If they do manage to win this team fight, it's going to be a lane of barracks.
Look at this. Ramsey's isolated here.
No, he's got glass behind him. Evil Ash lining up the Impale well where Swifty goes in with the Orchid. No protection for old Ramses and he's caught with the Doom. Here comes Godetgo with the BKB glass. He did commit the Poison Nova. It's onto a bunch of them. Zedisbug did manage to steal it and let loose as well. 3 have fallen from the side of Buriza. No one's fallen from the side of the Titans. And Helm is making a run for it. Where's Pulse when you need him? He's retreating as well. He's left him to his own death. And nobody falls in the Poison Nova.
It's the lack of detection. Every single time they think of going forward, Nyx is there to set something up. And with the setup coming out from the Nyx Assassin, they jump in and commit harder than ROG Titan, harder than Buriza can fight back. You had a stolen Poison Nova from Zedisbug as well thrown out on the battlefield there. He ends up surviving. No one dies on the side of ROG Titans.
It's high risk, high reward. And if they don't have detection, if they don't have a layer of protection for the Bloodseeker, a huge source of the damage is missing. I mean, Glass is going to let the Venomous Gale go, but who's going to do the damage post that?
There's also the fact that Pulse wasn't there in that fight at all.
I mean, Pulse was there. He was somewhere in the vicinity, but he chose not to fight. And now the Titans have the momentum working in their favor. They're down by a lane of barracks as well as the tier 3 tower in the top lane. But they're working with a 7,000 net worth advantage. Ramses, he hasn't made much of a progression in terms of items since the past couple of fights. And now the Titans are going to secure another huge objective. The rocket flare is there from smoke though. Ramses is respawning in a bit. If Buriza died, could really cost them the game. The same applies to the Titans. A buyback not available on a couple of key cores. The Blood Right on the floor. The rocket flare comes flying through. A silence onto Evil Ash. Roshan at half HP. Ramses standing outside the pit. They want Roshan on the Titans. The arrow comes sailing through. It's going to it's going to barely clip Zedisbug. Icepart onto Godetgo. Godetgo caught in the rupture. He's decided to take the fall. He's burning to the Macropie, but he pops his BKB. Zedisbug lets loose the Poison Nova. Steals the Moonlight Shadow. I hope they have detection on Buriza because Smoke, well, he managed to bring down Akashi with the Monkey King, but he falls to the mana burn. Here's arrow number 2. It's going to connect onto Evil Ash. Pulse, that's a holy hexa highlight reel with that arrow. And somehow, Buriza have managed to win a fight. They managed to take away the Aegis, but Swifty comes in for round 2. The Sonic Wave will ensure that Pulse will fall. Akashi lets loose the Wukong's command. Glass trapped in the middle. Now the damage is too much, and Akashi will man up with the Jingu Mastery and find a response. Ramses comes in from the backline. He has nothing to cancel the TP. The damage, it's significant. It's Swifty versus Ramses. Swifty attacked by the Poison Nova, but eats the cheese, and Ramses will fall. The Titans fight back. It's such a back and forth game, and I really can't say who's coming ahead.
Not a clue in the world, man. That was Aegis and Cheese consumed on the side of ROG Titans, but they come out on top in that team fight more or less. Jakiro, the only survivor on the side of Buriza, while Glass actually ended up getting the kill on the Monkey King in the fountain.
What?
But it's Swifty versus a Jakiro. He doesn't really care. He's willing to take this fight any day, all day. Goes in for that tier 2 tower. Should be able to do some chip damage on the tier 3 as well. And might just be able to force out a buyback too. In fact, it looks like the ROG Titans are going to get a tier 3 here. I mean, Helmji can't stop this by himself.
I think they're going to hold on. You got Smoke respawning in a bit. Swifty, he's got the siege creep, so that's going to make a huge difference. But Swifty decided to play it cautious and just blink